Life doesn't always go the way we want. Sometimes we drift apart from people we love. Sometimes we lose our jobs. And more often than not, we're hit with things we never saw coming. That's where Stoic philosophy, especially the wisdom of Epictetus, becomes a guiding light in the dark. Epictetus was a freed slave, yet despite his limitations, he learned how to find freedom and peace within, even when everything outside him was falling apart. One of the core lessons in Stoicism is knowing what's within your control and what's not. Epictetus used to say, if it's not in your control, why let it disturb you? Imagine dropping your phone and it shatters. Sure, it's frustrating, but does being upset fix anything? No. What is in your control is your reaction. Do you beat yourself up, or do you say, okay, it broke, what can I do now? How can I move forward without it? This shift in mindset doesn't just stop you from feeling defeated, it starts making you feel empowered. In today's world filled with anxiety, constant comparison, and overwhelming expectations, Stoicism can be the antidote. You learn to stop chasing validation from others and start making peace with yourself. You understand that you don't need to control everything to feel safe, because you can find calm in the chaos. Epictetus said, "True freedom is not clinging to what you cannot keep." And even now, in the 21st century, that one line still feels like a healing remedy for the soul. In this video, we'll explore this powerful idea from Epictetus. If life is hurting you, don't cling to it so tightly. Don't become attached to what's fading. Let go and let peace in. Life hurts? Maybe it's time to let go. Lessons from Epictetus. 1. Understanding the dichotomy of control, what's up to us and what's not. Epictetus has a famous quote that goes, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." And honestly, the whole philosophy of Stoicism kind of boils down to that one simple idea. Think about it. So often, we waste our energy stressing over things we have absolutely no control over. Like whether someone likes us or not, whether it rains tomorrow or stays sunny, or what someone might be saying behind our back. But then, there are things that are fully within our control. Our thoughts, our reactions to what happens, how we choose to interpret and give meaning to our pain. Take getting fired from a job, for example. Losing that job might not have been your choice. But whether you sit in self-pity or use it as a springboard to grow, that's completely in your hands. Epictetus said that trying to control what's not yours to control is like arguing with the wind. The harder you push, the more exhausted and powerless you feel. But once you realize you can't change the wind, only adjust your sails, that's when you start to move forward again. And that's what Stoicism is really about, focusing on what you can actually steer. Here's a simple example. You're stuck in traffic. You honk, yell, get angry, but what actually changes? Nothing. Now, imagine you accept the situation. Traffic isn't in your hands. So instead, you put on a good podcast or use the time to reflect on an idea. That's when you take your power back. Epictetus teaches us that true freedom starts from within, not from trying to control everything around you. 2. The power of letting go. Things, people, and control. So often, we hold on to things in life that either no longer belong to us or maybe never really did. It might be a relationship that's already over, but our heart is still stuck in the past. Or maybe it's a job or opportunity we lost, and we just can't seem to accept it. Epictetus once said, "You should never think something truly belongs to you if you can't stand losing it." It's like a child with a beautiful kite, and when the string breaks, instead of crying, they smile at the sky and say, "It was beautiful while I had it." Stoicism teaches us that letting go isn't a sign of weakness, it's a sign of deep understanding. It means realizing that nothing in this life is guaranteed, not people, not positions, not even our own bodies. Epictetus would say, when something is taken from you, remind yourself that it was only ever on loan, never yours to keep. It's like life is a waiting room. Everything that comes in is welcome, but eventually it all has to leave, and we should be ready to say goodbye with grace, not desperation. Letting go means freeing your hands so you're ready to receive something new. If you're clenching a fistful of stones, you can't plant flowers. You can't reach out and hold someone else's hand. Epictetus understood this well, that when you learn to live lightly, life stops feeling so heavy. And that's the real art of letting go. Not clinging to what's choking you, but finding peace in the space it leaves behind. 3. Freeing yourself from the opinions of others. One of the biggest prisons we trap ourselves in is the prison of other people's opinions. At some point in life, we've all been caught in that thought. What will people think if I do this? Epictetus said that if you're always waiting for others to approve of you, you're basically handing them the reins to your life. Imagine you're at a party and someone casually comments, "Why are you dressed like that?" If that one comment ruins your whole evening, it means you've given away your power over something as small as a sentence. Epictetus believed that other people's opinions are external, and because they're external, they're not ours to control. He taught that the only things truly within our control are our intentions, our decisions, and our actions, not what people say or how they interpret us. It's like when you say something honest in a group and a few people give you a weird look. So what? You spoke your truth. Your intention was good, that alone should be enough. The problem is, we grow up believing that being good means keeping everyone else happy. But Epictetus warned that if you try to please everyone, you'll end up losing yourself. You can't be who you truly are and be exactly what everyone else expects of you at the same time. It's like trying to run with one sneaker and one slipper. You're either going to trip or hurt yourself. Freeing yourself from judgment means realizing that someone's opinion isn't the same as truth. Just because someone calls you a failure doesn't mean you are one. That's just their perspective. Epictetus said, "You are who you are inside, not the version others imagine of you." And once you truly get that, you start to feel lighter. You can finally breathe easier and start being who you were always meant to be. 4. Embracing uncertainty, letting go of outcomes and beliefs. One of the most exhausting things we do to ourselves is trying to predict and control everything. We constantly tell ourselves things like, "If I do this, then that should happen," or "If I was kind to them, they shouldn't have left," or "I worked so hard, so I deserve success." But the truth is, life rarely follows our scripts, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. Epictetus said, "Your job is the effort, not the outcome." In other words, focus on what you can do now, not on the result you're dreaming about. Often, we cling to outcomes because we're holding on to old beliefs. Like the belief that if things go well, we're good enough, and if they don't, we've failed as a person. But Epictetus teaches us that success or failure doesn't define your worth. They're simply parts of the journey. It's like a farmer who does everything right, but the rain doesn't come. Does that mean the farmer is useless? Of course not. It just means the conditions didn't cooperate. Accepting that you can't control everything is a form of courage. You're like a sailor who has to navigate through storms. You don't stop the storm. You learn to ride it. Epictetus said a wise person is someone who knows how to ride the waves of life, not fight them. And when you let go of rigid expectations, you give yourself the freedom to truly live in the present instead of being trapped in fear of the future or regret over the past. And remember this, a lot of the time, what you think should happen doesn't because something better is on the way. But if you're too attached to your idea of how things must be, you might miss the better thing entirely. Epictetus said, when you stop fighting reality, you stop suffering. And that's where real freedom begins, not outside, but from deep within. Five, applying Stoic wisdom in everyday life. You might be thinking, okay, Epictetus sounds wise, but how do I actually use his philosophy in real life? The truth is, Stoicism isn't just a bunch of abstract theories or ancient quotes. It's a way of living. You can apply it from the moment you open your eyes in the morning until the moment you go to sleep at night. For example, imagine you're stuck in a long line at the bank and you start getting irritated. Instead of getting worked up, remind yourself, this is outside of my control. What I do control is my patience and my mindset. Epictetus said, every situation is an opportunity to practice. So when someone disrespects you, it's a chance to practice self-restraint. When your plans fall apart, it's a moment to practice acceptance and let go of your attachment to the outcome. Life is like a giant gym, and every experience is a kind of weight you get to build your inner strength by choosing how you respond. Here's a simple example. Imagine you had plans with a friend, but they didn't show up without telling you. Of course, it's normal to feel disappointed. But Epictetus would say, you can't control their behavior, but you can control how you respond to it. You can choose to let it ruin your day, or you can say, I'm in charge of my reaction, not theirs. That's what real power looks like. It means the steering wheel of your life stays in your own hands. And the beautiful thing? The more you practice this mindset, the lighter life feels. You stop being shaken by people's moods or thrown off by unexpected problems. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions. It teaches you not to be ruled by them. And when you start using that wisdom in your daily routine, even your hardest days can feel a little more peaceful. Stoicism is a journey, a path that leads to peace, but not without passing through hardship. You're not expected to read a few quotes from Epictetus and suddenly become someone who's unshakable by life's storms. But every time you choose patience over frustration, every time you let go instead of fighting what's beyond your control, you take one more step on this path. And slowly, you start to feel lighter, calmer, and stronger. This journey is personal. Only you can walk it at your pace, on your road. Stoicism doesn't tell you to suppress your emotions. It reminds you not to drown in them. It doesn't say disconnect from the world. It says, see the world as it truly is, not just how you wish it were. And when you start to bring this mindset into your daily life, even when your heart feels heavy, you learn how to grow from it, how to keep going. Thank you for being part of this journey with me. Your presence, your willingness to explore and grow, that's what makes this community so meaningful. If you found inspiration here and feel ready to go deeper, know this. There is still so much wisdom to discover, and I can't wait to keep walking this path with you. Until next time, live with intention, embrace each moment, and let your stoic mind guide you through the beautiful complexity of life. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this journey.